Sudheendra Kulkarni, who is with me in the studio, is an author and columnist who was part of that group of 13 who went on the invitation of this so-called Regional Peace Institute and the Hans Seidel Foundation to Pakistan. Kamal Mitra Chenoy, Professor Kamal Mitra Chenoy of JNU, in the past has also gone on some of these controversial junkets. If I am not mistaken, he was one of those who went on the Ghulam Nabi Fai junket, and Ghulam Nabi Fai, of course, was an ISI man. General D Bakshi, Colonel RSN Singh, formerly of the RAW, and Maroof Raza. Sudheendra Kulkarni, do you check the credentials of those who are funding and organizing these trips?
See, this, first of all, you have titled your debate as, this seminar is playing into Pakistani hand. Let me tell you that we did play into hands, but the hands of Aman Ki Asha, which is a campaign run by the Times of India group. Both the Pakistani delegates and the Indian delegates played into the hands of Aman Ki Asha, and we stand for peace, and we shall do everything for peace between India and Pakistan.
This Regional Peace Institute, were you aware that General Ehsan ul Haq, former chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff's Committee, and let's talk about this, and former Director General, is the co-chairperson of the Regional Peace Institute?
The Regional Peace Institute is founded and chaired by Khurshid Kasuri, the former Foreign Minister of India,
is the former DG of the ISI.
Now, who they invite is not our lookout.
No, he's on the board of the Regional Peace Institute.
So, that is not, we respect Kasuri Saab, and it is at his invitation that we went.
Sir,
but
there's not the only person, 1 minute, sir, just let me complete, because let's go a bit into this detail. General Asad Durrani, another former Director General of the ISI, is also on the board of the Regional Peace Institute. So, two former bosses of the ISI are on the board of this Regional Peace Institute that invite you. Do you believe these people are men of peace?
And what did these two men or the other Pakistani delegates finally sign on? I have with me Arnab, the joint declaration. Please give me time. Because you have invited me for this debate, you must give me time.
Yeah, but
this is the joint declaration which is adopted by both Pakistani delegates and Indian delegates. And what does this declaration say? Please give me some time. It says, the delegates discussed all issues troubling the relationship between our two countries in a frank, cordial and constructive manner. Strong desire was expressed from both sides to free ourselves from the bitter legacy of tension and acrimony. The desirability of peace with justice and equity for both sides was accepted by all delegates. Please don't interrupt me. This is very important, because you have called names. You have called names to all the participants. No, why? That's your opinion. But allow me to give my opinion, which is the opinion of all the people who participate. Please don't interrupt. This is not right on your part, Arnab.
Mr. Kulkarni,
please give me time to read out, because you have maligned this seminar.
I am simply asking you one question, please.
You have maligned this seminar. You must give me time. Don't interrupt me.
I'm only asking you questions. One question is this, that it is no secret that the ISI and the Pakistani establishment backed the separatist insurgency in Kashmir.
Please see what we have said in our joint declaration.
One second, sir. General Asad Durrani, who headed the ISI in 1990-91, when militancy was at its peak and resulted in the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits, is on the board of this group that invited you, sir.
The participants appreciate the positive tone and content of the meeting, followed by an exchange of letters between Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The proposed meeting of the foreign secretaries, it is hoped, will lead to a resumption of the bilateral dialogue that has remained suspended for over 5 years now. This could bring about an extremely meaningful change in the atmosphere in our two countries, as well as in the entire region.
Mr. Kulkarni, even those who went for Fai's circuit ended up with quite a few statements
like that. The participants, this is the most important. Parna, please give me one moment.
My question
to you, sir. You owe it to the viewers. You owe it to the viewers.
Request you, sir, that
the participants strongly condemn. The participants strongly condemn all acts of terrorist and other forms of violence, irrespective of who the perpetrators or victims of such violence are. They urge the governments of the two countries to take all necessary steps to combat forces of religious extremism and to promote our common heritage of religious freedom, tolerance, plurality, peace and brotherhood.
Mr. Kulkarni, now that you've said what you've said, I am quite aware, and I think you should be too, that General Asad Durrani, you may say he said something very nice now. I remember that he is the man who was ISI chief in 1990 who funded the entire terrorist operations in Kashmir. How can you not be aware of that?
No, you please ask
you
this
think the
question
ISI
to the person that you have mentioned.
No, but he's on the board of the institute, so you can have a look at. You can have a list.
We do not decide.
I have the list of.
We do not decide who the Pakistan.
So, but they have called you to Pakistan.
Were. You know, we were called by Kasuri Saab, who is
but
the
they are
foreign
on
minister.
The board of, they are on the board of the Regional Peace Institute.
You know, please look at the outcome.
Sir, I also
look at the outcome of the seminar.
Sir, please
we want more and more such talks at all levels. At track 1, track 2, track 3.
Yes, but with the right people. Sir, the question is this, that are you aware or are you not aware that General Ehsanul Haq, who was also on this Regional Peace Institute board, who also is, my information is, 1 minute, sir, let me complete. Sir, the Lashkar-e-Toiba was backed by the ISI when it carried out the attacks on the Indian Parliament. My information is, at that point of time, Lieutenant General Ehsanul Haq was the Director General of the ISI. He now calls you for a seminar. The man who indirectly carried out the attack on the Indian Parliament wants to foster peace, and Sudheendra Kulkarni, a man of wisdom, doesn't see through that. I find it extremely difficult to understand.
I have never met him before, but I only go by what was discussed. There were diverse viewpoints, but what emerged is a consensus document, which in my view is very constructive, very positive. It helps the dialogue between India and Pakistan, which our Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Nawaz Sharif are both interested in.
You see, we can choose to look at the facts or not look at the facts. I now want to get Maroof Raza into this debate. Maroof, can these, those who go on this seminar, General D Bakshi wants to come in, Maroof wants to come in. Those who go on this seminar tell me today, when I point out to them that there are 2 ISI bosses who are there on the head of this Regional Peace Institute, they say, don't ask us, we don't know. What can we do if they are? It doesn't quite matter that one of them organized the Kashmir terrorism in 1989-90 as ISI boss. The other one had a role in the attack on the Indian Parliament.
Arnab,
Maroof.
Arnab.
Yes, Maroof.
Arnab, see, let me make 4 or 5 quick points. The first is, it is well known that in Pakistan, generals are hawkish while they are in service, because that is the only way up the ladder, and they become doves after retirement because that is the only way to keep themselves in prominence and in circuit. And what they do is they become part of the seminar circuit. At the same time, the Pakistani intelligence agency has huge amount of funds devoted to identifying people who seem to be peacenicks and who seem to be vulnerable to this seminar circuit. And they approach them from many angles. I've been also approached on a couple of times that why don't you become part of the seminar junket? I've obviously dumped it because I see no merit in it. But there are others who probably wiser than me see some merit in it. The third point which I want to make is look at the case of the Atlantic Council initiative on the Siachen Glacier. They identified a certain number of people in India as serving retired officers.
Yes,
and
true.
They all started a chorus by saying Siachen has been unfairly taken by India, it's unfairly claimed by India, so it is Pakistan's, it must be given to Pakistan.
Yes.
And funnily enough, none of them had even been to Siachen Glacier. So they could vaguely point it on the map that is north of Kashmir, but beyond that, nothing.
Yeah.
Let me also tell you, the man behind that initiative was Shuja Nawaz, who was the brother of General Asif Nawaz Janjua, the former army chief of Pakistan, and he is the author of the book Cross Swords, and has had undiluted access to the Rawalpindi archives of the Pakistan army. Nobody else has been given.
So
Shuja Saab, who's a nice man, has been pushing this very quietly under the umbrella of the Atlantic Council.
You see, we
likewise, there are many other dubious outfits who work
but
and who
why
claim to be doing
but those who go for these junkets, Maroof,
to be negotiating
Maroof, those who go for these junkets
on challenging India.
Yeah, so Maroof, those who go on this junket say we've come out with a nice piece of paper which says a lot of nice things on how things should go between India and Pakistan. By the way, it also says that the media should project a positive image of Pakistan in India and of India in Pakistan at the grassroots level to broaden the constituency of peace in both countries. I mean, that's one argument which is put here. I don't agree with it. I mean,
That's a message for you, Arnab.
You can give me any message. I put the reality. I'm not going to do a job which the Pakistanis tell me to do, Sudheendra Kulkarni. I will keep my own independent position on this. Now, I want to get General G.D. Bakshi. G.D. Bakshi, Sudheendra Kulkarni says today, don't ask me. I'm not responsible if there are 2 ISI men who are on the board of the institute that invited me and 12 others.
Arnab, I would like to remind Mr. Kulkarni of some facts which we soldiers have to bear. And please bear with me, Mr. Kulkarni. I'm sure you have the sensitivity to listen to what I'm going to say. As a soldier, 80,000 Indian citizens, Mr. Kulkarni, have been killed by the ISI since 1980. 21,000 were killed in the Punjab. 40,000 plus were killed in Jammu and Kashmir. Over 15,000 have been killed in the cities of India. Do their lives of these ordinary Indian citizens mean nothing, Mr. Kulkarni, when people go to talk peace with Pakistan?
And with
these
the ISI
people
bosses
have been put to permanent peace. What right do you have to talk of peace with Pakistan when the whole country gave a mandate to the BJP because they were sick and tired of the Congress's pusillanimity? They were sick and tired. They were fed up of the constant pusillanimity being shown towards the perpetrators of terror, towards not raising costs for Pakistan. We had very high hopes, and we still, Mr. Kulkarni, have very high hopes that decisive mandate has been given to the BJP not to start the talks which the Congress failed to do, but to raise costs for Pakistan, to deter Pakistan from killing Indian women, children and old men. Do you subscribe to that, Mr. Kulkarni? And if you have to carry out track 2, track 3 diplomacy, I mean, glory be to you and to your quest for the Nobel Peace Prize. But for God's sake, for God's sake, don't forget 80,000 Indians who have been killed. I'm not just talking of the 156 Indians who were killed in Mumbai.
This institute.
And do you have to, if you have to talk, do you have to talk to Hafiz Saeed?
Who funds this institute?
Do you have to talk to a psychopath? Do you have to talk to a mass murderer?
Yeah. So
does Mr. Vaidik have to suck up to a man who has the blood of thousands of Indian citizens on his hands? Mr. Kulkarni, we are soldiers.
Mr. Kulkarni, I want to ask you again. No, one second. This issue is now becoming serious. I want to ask you again. I want to ask you once again, Mr. Kulkarni.
What?
1 second. I want to ask you once again, Mr. Kulkarni. Are you telling me that you and the 12 others who went did not know that Asad Durrani headed the ISI's operations in pushing terrorism into Kashmir in 1991? And are you saying that you also did not know about the role of General Ehsan-ul Haq in helping the Lashkar carry out the parliament attack? These 2 men are on the board of the institute that has called you. Are you saying you have no idea that these 2 ISI men are not just some members or, distant participants in this institute, that they are on the board of the institute which has invited you, whose hospitality you have taken? Did you not know this angle?
I first want to
or do you not care?
I first want to respond to the very important observations made by
Sir, would you like to answer this before you? Because I want an answer from you on this now.
But first I want to, he has raised some very important points.
No, sir, please answer.
I fully share the sentiments expressed by my distinguished representative of the Indian Army. But we are as outraged and shocked, and we condemn the killings of our Jawans as well as innocent people by either Pakistani army or the terrorists supported by Pakistan.
People who kill our people is one of them.
And one of the purposes of this seminar and all such track 1, track 2, track 3 is to put an end to this forever.
But Mr. Kulkarni, how can you do track 1, track 2, track 3 with a person who has said that I got the money which was deposited, I got money from Pakistani businessmen and I deposited it in the K fund of the ISI to finance all the terror activities in Kashmir? You are saying you are going to sit across the table with that man, or did you not know this fact?
No, to answer your question,
did you not
we
know
did
this
not
fact?
know you know who the
You did not know?
No, we did not know.
You didn't know there are two ISI men on your institute?
We did not know. I did not know.
Okay,
I did not know who the participants from Pakistan were.
RSN Singh, Sudheendra Kulkarni says today, I did not know. That 13 of us who were invited
I want to say that does not matter.
No, it does matter.
Because what matters is what came out of the discussions and what was finally jointly decided.
Sir, it does matter that you are taking the hospitality of an institute which has two men who have bled India as heads of the ISI, been involved in the parliament attack, the exodus of Kashmiri
very high
Pandits.
Respect for
How did you not know that?
Khurshid Kasuri,
Sir,
former Foreign Minister of Pakistan. I have known him from before.
So, sir, if Hafiz Saeed was also on the board of this institute, would you still have gone?
See, of course not.
Then, but Asad Durrani was.
No, I don't know.
But Ihsanul Haq was.
But I didn't know.
How did you not know?
See, that's
how can you take hospitality from someone and say I didn't know about it?
Come on, Arnab,
you are
maligning.
I'm not maligning. I'm asking you a question.
You are maligning a noble initiative.
Sir,
you are maligning a noble initiative.
Sir,
let me tell you that your own organization, Times of
Sir,
Group,
please.
under Aman Ki Asha, you have promoted. You have
an ISI man is not organizing
you have promoted so many seminars and exchanges, which I applaud.
Sir, RSN Singh. Now, one second. First of all, RSN Singh, would you just like to respond? Sudheendra Kulkarni says today, I had no idea. And none of us had any idea that ISI men and ex-ISI bosses who did all this terrorism, carried out all these attacks, were involved anyway in our hospitality. Now, they are not members of the Regional Peace Institute. They are board members of that institute. RSN Singh, do you buy Sudheendra Kulkarni's line? Maroof, I'll come to you after that.
Firstly, this delegation has gone on the heels of the attack on Indian consulate, which has been proven that it was a handiwork of the ISI and Lashkar-e-Toiba. And the purpose of that attack was to make hostage out of the consular and sabotage the oath-taking ceremony of Mr. Modi. So to that extent, shame on you, this delegation, and especially shame on Mr. Vaidik. Now my second point is that just this government has taken over, and this entire composition of this delegation, I know all these characters, in and out, let me tell you. One fellow used to say that I did not know what is Five Foundation. We know all his links, this side of the border and that side of the border.
They say we don't know.
All these
they say we did not know it as any ISI link.
Those so-called intellectuals, let me tell you, they are composed of people who have no leverage, on the present government. So tell me, Mr. Kulkarni should explain that how will you influence the outcome by this track to diplomacy? And Mr. Kulkarni, I have attended a track to in Singapore, and let me tell you, after that, it was decided that we will have our next junket in Bangkok. And that is the time when I kept myself out, because I knew that what was coming. So please don't tell me what happens in these track two. And thirdly, are you all informed? Are you competent? I'm not talking about you, talking about Siachen. We are sitting on Siachen, we are on Saltoro, we are dominating Pakistan. So where does this question of Siachen come? I'm not talking about you last time. These people tried to sell off Siachen. Now let me take off Kashmir. What is this about United Kashmir that Mr. Vaidik is talking about? Do you know there are 5 major areas of Kashmir? It is not POK, it is a part of RJNK. So it has 5 important areas, and that is Jammu, Indian-held Kashmir, Ladakh, the area of Gilgit-Baltistan, and the POK. Do any of you know that the Gilgit-Baltistan area constitutes 4/5 of the POK?
I have one question for...
And then you go and discuss about...
Mr. RSN Singh, Kamal Mitra Chenoy, I am coming to you, don't worry. Mr. Chenoy, I am coming to you. One second. Mr. Chenoy, I am coming to you. Sudheendra Kulkarni, my next question to you is, you have this document, this joint statement. Sir, can you tell me something which is there in the joint statement about the need for Pakistan to have progress in the 26/11 trial?
See, we
Show
have
me something
stated,
on it,
No,
please.
we have stated.
No, about
that
progress in the 2611 trial. Can I have a look at it?
The participants strongly condemn all acts of terrorism and other forms of violence, irrespective of who the perpetrators or victims of such violence are.
Is there a single mention? Is there a single mention about the lack of progress by Pakistan in the 2611 trial, which the people of this country repeatedly want?
This was most certainly expressed by the Indian
Why
delegates.
was it not in the delegation?
No, but that doesn't, we cannot have everything.
Why was it? It's the most important thing.
This document
It is the most important. What else is important?
Please read.
So what else is important? What else is important? No mention of 2611 in your joint declaration. Is that not the most important?
The most unambiguous condemnation of terrorism.
Sir,
and religious extremism that inspires terrorism.
So who gives the money for the Regional Peace Institute?
No, why? That's
No, one second. Where does the money for the Regional Peace Institute come from?
When we receive an invitation, and the invitation came to Manish
Where does the money come from?
Are we to find
Where
out
does the money come
all
from?
the accounts?
So, you have two IS. 1 minute. So let's look at the facts.
I went only for one reason, Mr. Arnab. Please allow me to speak.
Right.
I know Khurshid Kasuri, the former Foreign Minister of Pakistan. I know him well. I have interacted with him both in Pakistan and in India in the past. And he's a man of peace.
Sir, the facts of the matter are
and
such.
he is the founder, he is the chairman of this institute.
Sir, the facts of the matter are such, and facts of the matter are, there are two ISI men. I'm coming to you, Maroof. Just give me a second. I just want to encapsulate the points.
No, you have made this point again and again. I'll make ISI people. But if the two ISI men, they agree with this joint statement, I welcome it.
The day you get an ISI man to say, let there be progress on 2611, you would have achieved something. The point is, you don't know. Sir, you don't know where the money has come from. My point is one, you don't know who's paid for it. One,
no, it is mentioned. It is mentioned.
The Regional Peace Institute, which has 9 Pakistanis and 1 Indian.
Regional Peace Institute supported by the organization. The name of the organization is also there.
Sir, one is, you don't know where the money has come from. 2, there are 2 ISI ex-bosses on that. 3, there has a background of FI and the involvement of the ISI in the FI seminar circuit exposed a few years back on Times Now. 4, no mention of 2611 in this. And then you tell me that it's all right, sir. I would find it absolutely, sir, with great respect to you, reprehensible that today we can even attend a seminar which has anything to do with 2 people, 1 who brought terrorism into the Kashmir Valley and 2 who organized the attack on the Indian Parliament. I think we should boycott these people. I think we should boycott these people.
I differ, but I respect
I think we should boycott these people, sir.
You listen to me.
So I think we should not have any business with them.
My life's mission is to one, harmonize Hindu-Muslim relations in India and normalize relations between India and Pakistan.
So not with ISI men.
I will even speak to ISI people.
Not with ISI men, sir. Let us have a fundamental disagreement on that.
You can only normalize relations with Pakistan by speaking to people who
next you'll say let's speak to Hafiz Saeed. We don't agree with them. They have blood of Indians on their hands.
You can't speak to the converted people.
They have blood of Indians on their hands. A man who
condemn that.
Sir, I don't agree with this.
You condemn people who have
coming back to the debate, and so does Maroof. I disagree with you, sir.
Kamal Mitra Chenoy.
Kamal Mitra Chenoy, my next question to you is this, and sorry to keep you waiting. You were one of those who was on the Ghulam Nabi 5 junkets in 2010 to Capitol Hill. Mr. Chenoy, my question to you is, were you on the Ghulam Nabi 5 junket, sir?